I don't believe all EdTech is bad. I believe that we have tools and we have important pieces that really can make a difference in fundamentally how people work with these materials, right? Being able to understand something and try something via simulation and then put that into work in a physical manner is a hugely important piece. That's, fundamentally, that's somewhat how, robots are programmed, right? We start in the simulation world and we've got the models and the physics and we get the robots to do the things. And then once we have that, we get that to the actual physical robot and get the physical robots to do the thing that we just simulated. So I think that there's a lot of opportunity there. It's just a matter of really coming across the particular implementations that make the most sense, right? And I don't believe those implementations are the implementations that have users staring at a screen for the majority of the time.
Plugged into the matrix.
Yes, plugged into the matrix. I just watched that the other night. So it's an interesting watch if you haven't watched it in a while, when you consider the place of AI right now and things that are happening.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pull.
Also, also, I think it's worth pointing out because the matrix is something that I've talked about in the past, right?
Okay.
I don't know that we talked about it the last time we talked, but there's the whole scene. And this was the learning scene. There are 2 points in that movie that are, I think, folks, when they look at learning and the future of learning, reference, But the one that I always enjoyed was the scene. They're trying to rescue Morpheus, who's been abducted by the agents and is being, held in this thing. And they get up to the rooftop and there's a helicopter. And, Neo's character is like, well, what are we going to do? He's there with Trinity, who says, no problem, I got this. And, makes the phone call and says, I need to learn how to fly a Bell 212 helicopter. So just like that, she's like, okay, let's go. And they get in the helicopter and they take off and they fly. Amazing. Great idea. Here's the problem. Trinity does not learn how to fly a helicopter. She learns how to simulate a helicopter. She has no idea how to fly a helicopter once she's unplugged from that experience. So in that realm, what we're doing is looking at the simulation and saying, well, this is the future of learning, but it's not, because really it's just the future of simulation, not the future of actual practice. At least that's how I've always seen it. And that's how I've always read that scene. So whenever I heard or we talk about the Matrix, I think that that's always a pretty prescient example of something that perhaps is interpreted one way, but the reality is it's not how it's working.
Yeah, reality is a whole nother ballgame. AI is really funny. I'm working with it every day, all day. And if you're not careful, it's like the confirmation bias, or, the fact that it thinks your ideas are so good and you feel like you have these foolproof plans, right? And then you bring it to the world. You take it out of the simulation
Yeah.
and you bring it to the real world, and it falls flat on its face, right? But you were so confident that it was going to work.